Welcome back for topic 3.3, where we're going to look at if-else statements in the Magpie Chatbot Lab. We're still thinking about how branching occurs in a two-way selection so that the true branch is invoked or the false branch is invoked. So let's look at examples. Remember, we have Bo and JJ sitting on the branch. I'm trying to talk to each other, and we're going to be thinking in this particular section about how an if-else statement can control the flow of a program, and we're also going to see how nesting can impact flow. So let's look at a diagram. So we have our condition, whatever that might happen to be. You're the programmer, so you would set up the condition, and it will evaluate to true or false. And based on how it evaluates true or false, it's going to go in two different directions at least, and begin to impact the flow of the code. So let's see what Bo and JJ are talking about today. So like I showed you last time, and if you've looked at Magpie since then, it begins with hello, let's talk. And today, Bo is saying, you know me. And JJ's going to say, what makes you think that I know you? So this is a different piece of code from the lab, and I want to show it to you and kind of let you see how it fits in. We have a new variable here called the PSN integer, and it's going to call a method to find a keyword based on the statement that is entered, and it's looking for the word you at the 0 position. So remember when JJ started with let's talk and Bo says you know me. Well, since you was in the 0 position of the statement, that triggered our if statement. And the if statement then did something with the word me. Remember the response? What makes you think that I know you? And that actually calls a method called transform you and me. So this gives you the feel for an interactive chat program where you're putting in something unique and the program is then doing something with your words and using them. That may occur in a role play game as well, and you may be thinking about a role play game and basically giving the user input back. If you think about how we all use call centers or phone banks, you know, I need to call about my cell phone or I call about an appliance, and I'm answering questions, and based on my responses, hopefully the computer program is taking in my input, which is auditory, and using it in a way to help me get to my solution or get to the information that I need or get to a human who can help me, you know, on some level. Now, notice here that we have an if that I'm pointing at, and it calls the response to become something that's transformed. Or we can go to the else scenario, but I want you to look at the else. The else has a nested if else of its own. And this is a different statement. This one transforms the words I, or I guess it's a word, yeah, a word or letter I, and you. And notice that it's got some two lowercase, two uppercase happening here because you could type it in either way. So when you get into looking at the Magpie code, you're going to see a lot of variations of uses of things in Java that you're going to find helpful. But this one swaps you and I, and or you and me up here, and this one's I and you. If none of that happens to be what is occurring, you're going to get a random response. So there's a pool of random responses somewhere living in the Magpie lab, and if we don't satisfy any of these if else or this if, you're going to get sent to the random response pool. That's not where we want to go if we're calling about our cell phone or our appliance. Okay, here's a graphical illustration of what we just talked about in the code. If the condition was found true or false again. All right, I'm going to switch over to JGrasp and show you how this might look. And we'll look at Magpie. Okay, so here's the code that I was just showing you. I'm going to pop over to the Magpie runner, and run magpie. And remember, what's it supposed to say to me first? It should say something like, hello, let's talk. And I'm going to say, let's see, let's first do the you, me. You can code with me. What makes you think that I can code with you? So it took that piece and worked the transform. So now I could say something like, I would like to meet you. Why would you like to meet me? So those are the two batches of code. And if I say something else, we'll see if we go get a random response. Because CSA is cool. Do you really think so? So that must be something in the random pot. So you would be able to customize this, and this is a piece of Magpie activity 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly which. So I hope that you use that. All right. Now, what should you take away? In this video, hopefully you saw an example of both an if and an else, and then a nested if-else, and uses of that in code, and are ready to use it in your own programs. Thank you for watching.